Y'all ready?
Yeah, ready.
You drop it too big the phone.
You can, if y'all choose, let that chair out the way there. I thought maybe...
I'll slide it over.
Sit over there. Did it warm up in outside?
It's a little bit warm. It'll be cooler tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. All right, y'all. We're ready to
Because we are here to address with the mayor about the time, the hours down at the police department. We are going to. I discussed it with her, and she said that that's my department, and we are going to 12-hour shift.
In other words, protocol is
what
what I've asked you to do is establish some guidelines or whatever that you see fit to
do the 12 hours.
And you to implement that.
Yes, because I had a couple of his employees that asked me, and then they said that they were tired of doing these 16-hour shifts, even though they get 4 or 5 days off. They'd rather go to shift work.
16 hours.
16 hours.
They work 2 days. They work 2 16-hour shifts for 2 days.
2 16-hour shifts for 2 days. Okay.
But I was asked by a couple of them that they don't like doing it that way because they get tired and burned out. They rather do the 12-hour shift. They don't want that 8 to 4, 4 to 12, 12. They ask for the 12-hour shift. They want to do the 12-hour shift.
And what was your consensus?
And to do the 12-hour shift, that means they'll be on 3, off 4, like that, or off 4, on 3, like that. And then maybe every now and then, I haven't finished, but every now and then you may have to get somebody to do 4 hours or 8 hours, but then at the same time, what her name that do this day shift all the time? Susan said that she do 4 days a month in dispatch, so we could use her for that. Then that way you won't have to bring in no extra part-time. The way we're going to try and work it out, we won't have to have any.
Okay. So that's the way you've got it worked out.
That's the way
you've got the schedule for them worked out.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Question?
Yes, I have a question. Can I?
Go ahead.
Now, if they are doing 12-hour shift, is there a problem not sticking to your 8-hour shift in the sense that after there's a clause someplace I hear, and I think there's a clause someplace that says anything over 8 hours is overtime.
Yes.
With the city, it's anything over 40 hours or 80 hours per pay period for 2-week pay period. Anything over 8 hours is not overtime for municipal law enforcement.
But the point is, though it's not, the federal government laws override state laws. So if in case there's any clause in any...
Well, it doesn't on law enforcement officers. The law enforcement officer can work 171 hours in a 28-day pay period. That's 11 hours overtime that law enforcement officers don't get. But they
is that for the dispatch?
No, sir. That's for law enforcement officers, but
that's the officer.
As far as the police department, the government of the police department is not regulated the same as other state agencies or federal agencies.
Okay, but this right now we're not talking about the officers. Have you got to that part yet?
I haven't got to the office. I'm just doing dispatch first.
Okay.
So far, I've just been asked about dispatch, but we can get with the officer and see.
I don't want to get to that point yet. I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
I'm going to allow you to handle that about the officers and how y'all work that out with that. How you over that department. And as I said, I'm not going to step over yours until you get everything that you worked out and you finalize that and you bring it back to me. How complicated can that be?
Okay.
I'm asking you.
It's not complicated.
So is there a problem?
No, I think, Chief Hall have a problem with it, but you can let them.
Yeah, I'll address it with her.
Okay. You can
When
address it.
when she's,
Is there a problem?
no problem, because the schedule I have is I'm the one that, I'm the chief. I'm the one that has the authority to make the schedule. I make the schedule out by the way it's supposed to be made of my decision. I can either go with an 8-hour shift, I can go with a 12-hour shift, I can go with whatever other shift.
Okay, but let me
This is
say
the
this.
shift that we have been working, and I'm the one designated to determine what shift, what schedule I make.
Okay, and you do that, but do you not realize that she's over that department? I've given her that authority, because let me say this, and I'm trying to give everybody the opportunity to work with your department head. I don't want problems reflected, brought back to me unless you got a solution. You've identified your problem, you did your solution, so now you bring it back to me for my result. Ultimately, as stated in this charter, city charter, at my discretion, I can have a clean sweep. Therefore, when I come in with my new administration, you don't have to be chief.
I'm very familiar with that.
And let me say that to you. Now, if you can either do it her way, or you can do it your way, and your way will be out the door.
I'm sorry, but I would ask for this to be brought to council.
My meeting is over. I have the discretion. The council is all, they are with me.
I have the right to bring this to council also at the
Okay,
same
but you're
time.
not going to and I'm not.
No, ma'am, I'm not. I promise you, I'm not trying to override you or nothing like that.
The meeting is over.
Yes,
You can do it
ma'am.
her way, or there's no way at all.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And the schedule goes on, as you stated.